Colorado Springs is a place known for its stunning landscapes, vibrant culture, and dynamic lifestyle. But as with any city, living here comes with its own set of challenges. Stay tuned as we uncover the 10 unexpected downsides of living in Colorado Springs that you need to know before you're making your move here or if you're reevaluating your current living situation. You ready? Let's dive in. There is a huge altitude adjustment. The first thing you need to know is that Colorado Springs sits on over 6,000 feet above sea level. Newcomers often experience altitude sickness, headaches, and more, and it can take a lot of time to adjust to the thinner air. In fact, I'm not sure if I've adjusted over the 20 years we've lived here. If you are an outdoor enthusiast and are moving here, it's likely that you're going to have to adjust your training schedule to get used to the altitude. This can be temporary, don't worry. I have clients that are runners and bikers, and they have all done that exact same thing. You're gonna want to increase your water even if you're just visiting the top of Pikes Peak for one day. You may even notice that your bar tab may be less because having alcohol at this altitude is much different than it is at sea level. I have clients that tell me that carbohydrates help with some of the altitude adjustment, but I'm not a serious athlete and I am by no means running a marathon anytime soon. In general, take some time to ease into your visit or adjustment into moving into the city. One thing that really surprised me is our variable weather patterns here. While Colorado Springs boasts over 300 days of sunshine, the weather can be unpredictable. Sudden hailstorms, drastic temperature changes, and even heavy snowfall in the winter can catch just about anyone off guard. While in general, I believe that the weather here is quite pleasant and we don't have a lot of tornadoes or other huge natural disasters like earthquakes, we do have sudden changes in weather. The temperature can very quickly change. For example, today it is 60 degrees in February and absolutely beautiful. And this weekend, we are expecting a very significant snowstorm. Because of the way that the weather develops over the Front Range, which is the mountain range right here on the west side of town, it's often hard for the weathermen to predict what is going to happen. It's best to be prepared, especially if you're hiking or doing any other outdoor sports. The rule of thumb here for locals is to dress in layers. We do get hail and our homeowners insurance shows it. We are not the cheapest state for homeowners insurance, largely in part to our dry summers, which increase the risk for fire danger, and we have had several large-scale fires right in the Colorado Springs area. Additionally, we have those hailstorms, and we will talk about Colorado drivers in another video. Are you prepared for wildlife encounters? Living close to nature means wildlife encounters are common. So from bears rummaging through your trash or deer in your backyard, it is important to know how to coexist safely with our wild neighbors. It is not uncommon to hear of mountain lion encounters with dogs in your backyard or even worse. And while bear are more frequently seen on the west side of Colorado Springs, they do sometimes get into the downtown area and you see them on the news and trees and they're trying to remove them safely. You have to take extra measures here so that critters don't get in your trash. I actually have clients in Monument that report that ravens, huge birds, will open the trash cans and eat the trash and scatter it around the neighborhood. I'm not certain you can experience this much wildlife in many other states, but here it is very possible. Also, if you're in any part of the city, you are probably going to want to consider deer-proof landscaping. The deer here are large, they're mule deer, and they actually do coexist with us. They do damage to beautiful landscaping, so if your idea of pretty and theirs don't align, you could be purchasing just very expensive deer snacks. Traffic and infrastructure is a continually growing process. We are struggling to keep up with the congestion, especially during peak hours and tourist seasons around the city. I despise being stuck on Powers Boulevard at rush hour in the morning or the evening, and I-25 always seems to back up from downtown to the Fillmore exit. While this traffic is not East or West Coast proportions, it's certainly not pleasant to those natives that grew up here or locals here. In fact, you're likely to get told that our city is full and nobody else should move here. Public transportation options in Colorado Springs are limited, which makes it challenging for those without a vehicle to navigate the city efficiently. We don't have light rails or even an abundance of buses, so if you rely heavily on public transportation, this may not be the city for you. Our region has diverse flora and windy conditions, which can exacerbate your allergies. Spring and fall can be particularly tough for sufferers. They actually told me when we moved here from Kansas City that my allergies would significantly improve because it's so much drier here, and I want to personally tell you that they are wrong. My allergies are just different now. Pollen, dust, and mold are the main contenders for those with allergy issues. We also have a lot of weeds. I think pigweed is one of them my daughter is allergic to, and it gets windy here. It just blows around. So if you have allergies, you should know that you're probably going to have them here. While Colorado Springs is not the most expensive city in Colorado or even the nation, the cost of living in Colorado Springs has been on the rise, particularly in the housing department. The demand for homes in this area is high, and it's a desirable location, which means we have higher prices and a more competitive market. Our cost of living here has continued to increase year over year, and truly no relief is in sight. Our average home price is between $450,000 and $500,000, and that can change pretty quickly to $600,000 and above on the northern side of Colorado Springs as you begin to exit El Paso County. This can make it challenging for those who are moving out of state to Colorado Springs and trying to get established here, or maybe you're just trying to get off your feet. One good thing is that owning property here has been fruitful, and if you can afford to purchase, you will likely continue to grow your wealth year over year. Additionally, our market is not typically as impacted by the swings of the real estate market as other places in the United States, and one of the main reasons for this is the 5 military bases that we have here. So we have a constant rotation of people coming into and selling in our city. Water scarcity is a growing concern in Colorado. It's mostly because we have a very arid climate here, and water use restrictions are not uncommon, especially in the summer, and it can affect anything from gardening to car washing. There have been summers where different water companies in the city put water restrictions on homes so that you could only water certain days of the week. Sometimes it's even numbers of the street or odd. It's really not that terrible. But if you are looking for rural properties in our area, you should rest assured that typically the wells in our area are healthy. Some areas of Teller County have shared wells or cisterns, and that just isn't something that we deal with here in Colorado Springs often. It is dry here, and drier summers mean fire mitigation and fire watches. The biggest thing that affects our water is we have multiple reservoirs around our area that collect rainwater and soon become drinking water for our city. If we're not getting a lot of rain, or perhaps we had a dry winter and didn't get the snow that we were promised, you can basically make the assumption that we'll be on water restrictions. Now listen, I've been in Colorado Springs a really long time, but I've heard from clients that finding your community here can be challenging. Some newcomers experience a social bubble effect, which is breaking into established social circles because some people have been here a very long time. I actually found that people were much nicer in Colorado Springs than the city I grew up in, but it can be hard to integrate, especially if you're working from home or telecommuting, or how much you're actually getting out into our active lifestyle. There are tons of festivals around our city and reasons to get out and meet new people here. Many restaurants host running clubs or trail bike riding clubs, and those are a great way to get involved. Listen up, this is a big bummer. While active outdoor activities are plentiful here, they are an expensive hobby for many. When we first moved to Colorado 20 years ago, ski passes were $300 annually and got us into a lot of resorts. Now, one day of skiing costs over $200 a day per person, and that does not include any equipment rentals. You can expect to pay $1,200 plus for a ski pass annually. Skiing is not cheap, and some national parks here are not cheap to get into either. We actually had an RV for a minute and we were shocked at how expensive the campgrounds were just to be able to pull in, park, and camp for the weekend. So there you have it, 10 unexpected downsides of living in Colorado Springs. While these challenges exist, many residents find the city's beauty, the community, and lifestyle that we have here outweighs all of the downsides. So if you're considering a move or you already call Colorado Springs home, being prepared for these challenges can make all the difference. Don't forget to watch some of my other videos about moving to the Colorado Springs area. We'd love to show you what an elevated real estate experience looks like. See you next time.